One of the things I struggle with is focusing on one thing. I go through what I call phases, where one day a particular artistic medium may call out to me, and the next I'll want to play around with something completely different. I'm impressed by people who are able to focus on one thing and really hone their skills in that area, because quite frankly, that's not me. One day I'll be painting on a canvas with acrylics, the next I'll be watching TV drawing in my sketchbook. On yet another, you may find me using watercolor to paint some flowers. Well, on another day, you might find me doodling with pen and paper. All of these mediums utilize slightly different techniques, and I really enjoy all of them for different reasons and different occasions. I love the look of watercolors for the birthday cards I've been painting for my family members. I like how easily I can transport my drawing pencils and use them in any room of the house or outside of the house. Drawing with pen is exciting because if you make a mistake, you have to find a way to work it in and be creative in a different way. Acrylics will always be a little bit nostalgic for me because they were the medium that helped inspire a love for art in me when I was in high school. So I thought it would be interesting to put each of these mediums to the test. In the next few videos, my goal is to use the same reference photo, but different mediums to see if I have a preference for a particular medium. My hypothesis is that each finished product will have its strengths and its weaknesses. I have a feeling that I'll struggle to create the depth I'm looking for in my watercolor and acrylic paintings, but my ink and pencil ones won't fully capture the look because they won't have the colors from the photo. When I was picking the reference photo for this series, I was feeling a little nostalgic. You see, I grew up in Western Canada, which in my mind is the perfect place for an aspiring artist. Surrounded by mountains and stunning farmland, you don't have to go far to find inspiration for one art project or another. The problem is that I didn't get out as much as I should have to properly utilize the scenery. I know, I'm disappointed in myself too, especially now that I no longer live in the region. In an attempt to rectify that wrong, I thought maybe I could use a photo from a popular spot in Western Canada. So I found a photo for a lake that I visited on several occasions. In fact, it's one that I visited when I met my husband, and also one that we visited together again after we were married. But if I'm completely honest, I didn't take nearly good enough photos. While I'm not going to show you the specific photo I'm using for my reference photo, purely because I don't want to get removed for copyright infringement, here's one of my own that should give you a pretty good idea of the beauty of Lake Louise. Now to get back to my experiment. I'm not sure why I decided to start this series with watercolor, since it's the one I'm the least confident in. Maybe it's to get the worst one out of the way first, although if I'm being honest, I'm not mad about how it turned out. While creating this painting, there were a few things that I noticed. Even though it was more difficult for me to compose than my pencil drawings, it was a lot easier than the first or even the second watercolor landscape I attempted. Also, there were a couple times where I thought I'd ruined the project and wasn't sure if I could recover. But then I was able to draw from the skills I learned in other projects and was able to bring it back, which kind of surprised me in a pleasant way. Another thing I learned was that this project required time to get it to a stage where I was happy with it. I had to be patient with the process. Color block, dry. Add darker shades, dry. Add texture, dry. Add different colors, dry. Almost mess it up completely by adding white highlights with acrylic pen, dry. Go over those areas yet again with more color, dry. You get the picture. Watercolor needs to be layered in order to build depth. This is something I knew, but I didn't always have the patience for. Yet, for some reason, I gave myself more time with this project than I usually do, and I think that's a large part of the reason why I'm happy with the end product. As for evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of this particular medium, or rather, my ability in this medium, I think I did a pretty good job with the colors and textures. I struggled to make the mountains in my art match the mountains in the photo, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.